Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Already we're live, and as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be working on more raycasting in Unreal Engine 5 using C++. That's last stream. Actually by the end of the last stream, I did actually manage to get the raycasting system kind of figured out, but I did not work on the syntaxes or the program, which I will be working on this stream. That said, let me go to my main camera. Actually, my GPS screen real quick. Okay, and guys, I think that sounded way too vague, the intro that I just did. So let me just go ahead and show you guys what I did last stream. Basically, what I did was, I had a bunch of classes. Let me actually check if this was the actual class. There we go. Okay, so I had two classes. One class was for my meat, so I could go ahead and summon meat every time I click M in my keyboard. Or I could go ahead and destroy that meat if I went ahead and I clicked backspace in my keyboard. Although, after I was done with that, I moved on to raycasting, where I basically drew a line, or I basically added graphics to the invisible line that was pointing outwards from my player or from my camera, if that makes any sense, because I practically did use the camera as my player's head. That said, once I was done with that, I added some kind of logic where every time I aimed and shot over, let's say, my meat, I get a, let's say, an add-on screen debug message that says meat was shot. If I hit the floor, it says floor was shot. If I missed by hitting on the sky, or I didn't hit any kind of actual object that had collision in it, it said that you missed your shot. That said, let me go ahead and get my Unreal Engine back here. There we go. Okay, let me just go ahead and run it, because I feel like it's much easier to understand if I actually show you guys the program, like, practically. Okay, let's remember my choices. Hit yes. Okay, there we go. Now, if I were to go to my content drawer, and in my content drawer, if I were to click content and double click my new map and then run my map, let's see what happens. So basically, this is what I meant when I said that I use my let's say camera as my player's head. My player is no longer in a third person, but I am a first person player, where every time I click M, I spawn a meat 300 units away, or 300 units in front of where my player's forward direction is. If I hit backspace, I can go ahead and delete that. If I delete it, I do get like a add-on screen debug message on the top left corner of my window. Unless there were no meat. If there's no meat, it says that meat has not been destroyed. But if I were to go ahead and spam my M, then it's gonna store all my meats inside of an array, where if I hit backspace, it deletes all those meats one at a time. Now, the thing that I actually worked on last stream, and what I will be working on this stream, is basically raycasting. What raycasting is that if I go ahead and click while my right mouse button is being held, if I click my left mouse button, was the left mouse button? Hold up, guys. Should I compile again? Let me go to my IMC default. This should basically show me a laser being spawned in my window. Okay, so I have M to summon. I have right mouse button. Where is my left mouse button? Hold up, guys. Let's go all the way here. I'm positive I saved this stuff after last stream was over. Give me a quick little second. Let's go to something like my content. In my content, I'm gonna go ahead and double click, let's say, my input. Do I see an IA_LMB? I do see IA_LMB. So why is it not added in my IMC defaults? Was it not saved? I mean, well, maybe it wasn't saved. Let's add it though. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my maps. In my maps, I'm gonna select IA_LMB, which is basically my left mouse button, and I'm gonna point it towards my left mouse button. And then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and, let's say, hit something like Control Alt F11 to compile my code real quick, and just get this here and wait for this to compile. Okay, while it's compiling, it did say result succeeded. I'm gonna go ahead and run the code. Once I run the code and I hit my, there we go, finally I see the laser. So while my right mouse button is being pushed, if I go ahead and click my left mouse button, it shoots a laser. This laser is supposed to be invisible, but since I used the help of the let's say something like the Draw Design Helpers library, I could actually color code my my lasers, if that makes any sense. Where if I completely miss my shots, my laser is green and it says no hit. If I hit my floor, since my floor does have collision, it says hit floor and my laser is red. If I spawn a meat and I try aiming at the meat, it says something like hit meat and my laser is still red. That was basically everything I did. I gotta like work on that now. Okay, and the header file that I was saying is the draw debug helpers as header files. This is what actually helps me color code my invisible rays. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab Gemini. Actually, Claude up here. I keep calling Claude Gemini. Okay, let's say something like, let's say live exclamation. I usually do this at the start of the stream, but I forgot today. There we go. And of course, I gotta always hit the send button instead of pressing enter, because I'm used to clicking enter to actually send my message, because in ChatGPT or like Gemini, we click enter to send the message. I guess not for Claude. Alright, you're live. Welcome back. How did your exam go? Did you crush it? Actually, my exam is, whatchamacallit, it's tomorrow and not today. Okay, now let's talk about today. Last stream, you learned how to spawn and destroy objects using T-Array Solid Foundation. Today's options. Option 1, raycasting project. Well, I did want to kind of review the program because I did not like completely master it last stream because I didn't have much time. Before we dive in, tell me, how are you feeling? Energy level, good, fresh, blah, blah. Okay, let me say something like, let's say, I feel very refreshed, dot, dot, dot. That said, I don't want to move on to a new topic. Instead, I want to work on the program that I worked on yesterday. Even though I got my raycasting to work, I did not master it. I want to work on mastering the source code today. So I might delete and rewrite my source code using a reference. Okay, let's go ahead and send this text real quick. Alright, there are two options. Either write it using a reference, either create a new class. I might go with a new class where I'm going to actually use this stuff. Okay, excellent. This is exactly the right approach. You're not just copy-pasting stuff, mastering it, blah, blah. Okay, step. Delete your current spawn/destroy code. Delete these from your Alex's class. Spawn meets this function. Destroy meet, well, it's basically summon function that I have. Rewrite it all from memory. I mean, I will be like look at a reference. I think like the first 3 times writing the program, so I get familiar like with the syntax and all that, and then I'm going to try implementing my own logic to it. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to go to my Unreal Engine. In my Unreal Engine, I'm going to go ahead and click something like tools. In tools, I'm going to go ahead and let's say create a new class. I'm going to go ahead and call this something like a character class. Now my character class is going to go ahead and be called something like, okay, my current character was called Alex, right? So I might have, I don't know if I imported my Lisa. Tomorrow I'm going to be having a Blender stream, but I don't really know if I really imported my Lisa's mesh yet. Did I? I mean, it really depends. I'm going to go ahead and create a class, like who cares? There we go. Okay, let's wait for it to add to project real quick. While it's adding to project, I might really drink some coffee because I'm kind of thirsty. Okay, let's see. How long does it take to compile? There we go. I was like, I'm pretty sure it doesn't take that long to give me the reload all this option. I'm gonna delete my Unreal Engine configurations because I don't really know what to use that for. That said, now that I have my Lisa's class, I'm not gonna manually type all my writing code and all that stuff. Instead, I'm gonna go ahead and copy paste the logic from my Alex's class. Or even better, I could go ahead and let's say, I think I'll leave my summon function for the time being. I'll leave my destroy summon function for the time being. I'm gonna copy my shoot function from here. Okay, let's go ahead and copy my shoot function because there's like a lot in this shoot function that I don't really know. Okay, and then once I copy it, I'm going to delete it from here. I'm going to move on to my Lisa's C++ file. Just paste it here. Okay, and guys, ignore me if I just pasted like if this looks unorthodox because I just need this for reference when I'm actually looking into my program, if that makes any sense. I'm not really going to use that class a whole lot. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and remove my LMP action. I'm not gonna copy and paste these because these are the easy part. The thing that's really hard is like the logic inside of my shoot function. So I'm just gonna be using that for reference. Okay, but things like my LMP action and binding, those are like pretty basic. Okay, and then I'm gonna leave my summon action as it is because I really know how to summon the things. I just need to work on the shooting. From here, I'm gonna remove my shooting class. I'm not gonna copy paste that as well because it's pretty basic. That's basic as well. And is LMB press, that's basic as well. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my LMB action, that's basic. Although I will be needing this, I will be copying this for a reference because I have rarely used the T array off. Here's the thing, this comes with the summon function, so I might not need it for the time being. However, store me to use to summon later, the array. I mean, I guess I know the two of these, Backspace action, summon action, and that's about it, honestly. Okay, the rest things that I might need to work on is my engine name. So draw debug helpers is header files. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of copy that if needed. Guys, again, if this looks kind of unorthodox, that is because it really is. I'm just like including these and just adding it here so I can like look at the reference from here or look at the program as a reference. That said, now that I'm done with removing my entire summon function from here, I'm gonna start filling it again. Speaking of which, let's see. So, firstly, what is something that I might need when I want to summon something? The thing that I may need could be, let's say, a input action because I do really use my summon using an input. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a comment that says something like LMB action. And yes, this was exactly the thing that I deleted. I mean, it would be fine even if I did not delete this because this is pretty easy to write. But I thought like might as well. Okay, let's go with something like uProperty where I want my LMB action, my left mouse button action to be edit anywhere. I want to be able to edit it anywhere. I want my left mouse button action to be blueprint read only. Only want my blueprint to be able to read it, not fully edit it. And then I want to categorize it under a category called something like inputs. There we go. Okay, once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and use my uInput actions as empty class that I declared all the way up here. And I'm gonna go ahead, first let me go ahead and add it. So let's go with something like uInput action. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get it represented by a local variable called LMB action. And then let's go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done with that, under my Boolean checksys section, I'm gonna go ahead and create a Boolean variable, which is going to be B, which stands for Boolean. So we prefix the Boolean checks usually with B, so we know it's a Boolean variable. Where I'm going to go ahead and set my is LMB is my left mouse button pressed to be equal to false, because when I run my program, I do not want my left mouse button to be pressed by default. And then under my Boolean white functions, I don't really know a better way to name this, so I just named it as Boolean white functions. Although I'm gonna go ahead and create a white function here, which is either going to be in charge of setting my Boolean variable of is LMB pressed to be true or to be false based on which function has been executed. For example, the first function could be something like LMB left mouse button underscore press with a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon. If this function is executed, my Boolean variable of is LMB pressed is going to be set to true. In the other hand, if my white function of LMB underscore released has been executed, my variable of is LMB pressed is going to be set to false. That was pretty easy to understand, I guess. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and create a white function. This is going to be my summon function with a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon. And then I'm going to hit Control S to save the code because there is not a whole lot much that we add in the header files here. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go to my C++ file, and in my C++ file, firstly, since I am gonna be using raycasting and I want my invisible line that comes off my raycasting to be visible, I want to go ahead and color code it. To color code it, I'll be needing some help from a library called I forgot the name. Okay, so it's called the draw debug helpers as header files. So once I get that, I'm just gonna delete this from here. Now let's go to C++. So I'm going to be needing a help from the draw debug helpers helpers.h. So I'm going to be requiring the help. I'll be requiring the assistance from my draw helper debugs header files. And then if I were to scroll a bit lower, okay, right here, I might have to delete this. There we go. Whoops, forgot to delete that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and define the LMB underscore pressed and LMB underscore release function that I declare in my header files, where if my press is initiated, this variable is going to be set to true. If release is initiated, this variable is going to be set to false. To do that, I'm going to go in my C++ file, add a comment that says something like LMB functions. Now, in my LMB functions, I'm firstly going to go with something like void aalex. From my aalex's class, I want to go ahead and define my LMB underscore pressed function with a prof parentheses and then a prof curly braces. Now, inside my LMB underscore pressed function, if my LMB pressed has been executed, then I want to set my boolean variable of is LMB pressed to be equal to, let's say, something like true, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm going to go with something like another void function called aalex. Let's go with something like aalex, which uses a scope resolution operator to define my LMB underscore release function now. So I'm going to go with something like left mouse button underscore released with a prof parentheses and then a prof curly braces. I think I spelled alex wrong. Alright guys, there we go. Okay, now inside of my LMB underscore releases function, I'm going to set a boolean variable of is LMB released to be equal to false, ending with a semicolon. So if my LMB underscore release function has been executed, I want to set my boolean variable of is LMB pressed to be false. That's about it. Okay, what are you making, bro? Honestly, let me actually show you guys. If I were to go ahead and open my Unreal Engine and run the program, this is basically what I'm working on. Every time I click M, I can go ahead and summon meats on my window. Every time I go ahead and click backspace, the meats get deleted one at a time. And let's summon another meat. Every time, while my right mouse button is being pressed, every time I click my left mouse button, I summon or I shoot a laser here. And now, how could I actually use this program here, even though I removed the source code? Well, because I did not compile. If I were to compile the code right now, this wouldn't work. So, do you cry for easy? Do you cry for ease? It's like toxic work, you know? Sorry, not works word. Do you cry for ease? It's like toxic. Not works word. It's like toxic word, you know? Honestly, I don't understand what you mean by that. Okay, that said, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go under my destroy summon function. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and define my shoot function that I've declared in my header files. For example, firstly, I'm gonna add a comment. Comments are very important. I would like highly encourage / recommend you guys to really add comments. Okay, because that's what we actually read or like understand our clump of program. So I'm gonna go ahead and say something like shoot function. Let's go with something like shoot function. Now, this is where I'm going to be using the reference a whole lot because I did not really work on this program off stream because I didn't have time. That said, I'm going to go to my Alex's C++ file. Alright, that's good. Don't ease, haha. Honestly, by ease, do you mean like don't relax too much, you don't get too lazy or let your distractions take over you? Because that would make a lot of sense. That said, now I'm going to go with a word function from my Alex's class, which uses a scope resolution operator to point towards the shoot function that I've declared in my header files that does not require any parameters. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to add a prof curly braces. Now, in my curly braces, let's look at the reference. What are the first things that I might need? The first thing that I might need for my shoot function is that I gotta get my world and check if my world is null. If my world returns null, I could go ahead and return. Although I do have a easier or like a much better way to, I won't say better way, a way that actually works best for me here. For example, if I go to my C++ file, instead of checking, first I'm gonna add a comment that says something like get world. And now, instead of checking my world was null PDR, I'm gonna go with something like if my world was not null PDR. Speaking of which, I forgot to really get my world. I'm gonna go with something like uWorld, which is going to be represented by a pointer called world that is going to be equal to the getWorlds function. Okay, this gives me access to the Unreal Engine's world. Then I'm gonna go ahead and end this with a semicolon. WORLD. Unidentified. Let's see. Positive. I could have gotten the worlds here, right? Is my function name wrong? Hold up, guys. I think my function name is wrong. Let's go to my headers real quick. Oh, I did not create a white function. No wonder I got the red squiggly lines as well. Let's go with something like shoot. Subscribe to send bro have said boolean true in release function. Did I? Alright guys, let me kind of check that real quick. Although I do appreciate you subscribing, Tejas, is that I pronounce your name? That said, okay, have set boolean true in release function, did I? In my Alex's header files. Okay. I mean, release is set to false, so when my release is pressed, it's set to false. Did you mean if I were to go to my header files? I set LMB to be false here as well. I think that you maybe saw the press that I was going, or you got confused with like my boolean name because it's RMB pressed, not released. I just used one flag to either set it to be true if pressed or released if not pressed. Okay, that's it. Oh no, my bad. Okay, that's it. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and add if statement, and this is where I'm gonna be a bit like I'm gonna make like a slight change compared to what I wrote yesterday, where this checks if world is not equal to where world is equal to null PDR. This works as well, but I want to go with something like if a pair of parentheses. I'm gonna go with a pair of parentheses and check if my world is not equal to null PDR. And if it isn't equal to null PDR, then I'm gonna go ahead and execute my second chunk of code, which asks me to do what? Let's see. Get camera location. So I'm gonna go with a player controller, which is going to be represented by a pointer called PC. That is going to be equal to cast template, which requires a player controller. Okay, so basically I gotta cast my player controller, get camera location, and forward direction. I'm not doing either one of those using this. This one makes sense if I get my camera, so I think this is, it's like, let's change the comment and say something like cast player controller to check if the one that we're using is Alex's PC. PC basically stands for player controller. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my C++ file and add a comment that says something like cast player controller. Let's go with cast player controller to check if the player controller that we're using is Alex's player controller. There. Okay, so to do that, I'm firstly going to go with something like a player controller, which is going to be represented by a pointer called something like PC. That is going to be equal to cast's template, which requires, let's say, something like my a player controller, and that's I'm gonna go with something like a player controller with a pair of parentheses to invoke my cast function. Then I'm gonna go with something like controller. Okay, perfect. And then let's end this with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna add another if statement here to check if my world is not equal to, I'm gonna go with something like not equal to null PDR. So while my world is not equal to null PDR, I'm gonna go ahead and do something. I'm gonna add a pair of curly braces, and let's see the next thing that I gotta do. So I'm done getting my world and checking if it was not null PDR. I'm done casting my player and checking if my player controller was not null PDR. Did I really check that? There. Okay, small mistakes, gotta pay attention to those things. Okay, and then next up, I gotta go ahead and create two variables to store the windows' width and height. So I point my player controller towards get viewport size, viewport X, viewport Y. My viewport size is going to be stored in viewport X and viewport Y. Store the windows' width and height. Okay. And then I gotta go ahead and create two more variables to store the world direction and location. Since we're storing the world direction and location, we are using an F vector, which is basically a three-dimensional vector that has access to the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis, the pitch, the yaw, and the roll. Okay, so first let's create these basic variables. Get viewport size. This is a function that's new to me. Even like int 32, I'm assuming that's 64 bits. So let's go to my Alex's C++. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and add a comment that says something like create two variables that gets the Windows's width and height. There we go. And guys, in case you guys are like kind of struggling to see me on the portrait mode, because my visual studio is like expanding to like the landscape mode, make sure to move on to my horizontal stream. That's why I do really show you guys my entire video, my entire screen in the landscape mode format. That's once I'm done with this, let's see what's the next thing I gotta do. I'm gonna go with something like int 32. So I'm gonna go with something like, I gotta ask this to plot again though, is this considered 64-bit? There, I'm gonna go ahead and require two variables. The first variable is gonna be my, was it something like Windows is X? Viewports is X-axis and viewports is Y-axis. The variable name could be anything. I just prefer writing something that makes more sense. Let's go with something like my viewport, P-O-R-T, X, comma, viewport, Y. Let's go with something like viewport, Y. And guys, here's the thing that kind of messes with my mind and like compared to what I learned in my college, because in my college, my professor like strictly said me, it's even though it's allowed or like it's legal to add variables like this using a comma, he said that he usually recommends everyone to end this with a semicolon. Let's go ahead and end this with a semicolon and create another int 32. So another int 32 of viewport y-axis. He says me that this is like a much better way to do stuff because it's more clear and eventually it's going to be more readable, but both ways work. I'm definitely going to go with the other way because I think that's like a bit more clean. Okay, even though it might be a bit harder to read that stuff. Okay, what are you building? Honestly, I'm glad I did not compile the code. Once I'm done actually adding the logic and compiling the code, this is basically the result that I'm going to get, where I can go ahead and move my player around. If I hit M, I summon meets on my window. And guys, yeah, I did make these meets using Blender, where I will be having a Blender stream tomorrow because every Tuesday I do have a stream that's anything besides programming. I was rooting for a workout stream, but maybe I'm going to be having segments where I actually do workouts because I am running out of time for my program for 250 series. Speaking of which, every time I click backspace, I'm going to delete one meet because my meets are stored in an array, which deletes or which pops my meet, which pops the last element every time I destroy a meet from my array. Or the second logic that I added here was the shoot logic. While my right mouse button is being pushed, if I click my left mouse button, I can go ahead and shoot some kind of laser beams. That says no hit up here if I miss my hits, or if something, or it goes to something that does not have collision. In the other end, if I hit something like floor, it says hit floor and my laser's size is a red. Or if I kind of just, let me try to aim at my meat. There we go. If I go ahead and hit my meat, my laser is red because my meat does have a collision in it. Plus, it says hit meat, if that makes any sense. Later on, I will be adding UIs and all that for making it look much better type stuff. But I'm just learning the basic logic for the time being. That said, once I'm done creating two variables that gets my windows' width and height, I'm gonna go ahead and point my player controller towards a function. I forgot the function name. Get viewport size. So I'm gonna go with something like the get viewport sizes function. Let's go with something like viewport size. There we go. Which requires two parameters. Did I spell it correct? I think port should be lowercase there. Okay, which requires two parameters. First is gonna be a variable that is a int32 variable that's gonna be used to store my windows' width, and the other is going to be used to store my windows' height. I don't know why did I think so long to actually say that. Guys, this is what I mean sometimes when I say I go brain blank, because I do memorize a lot of things these days. Okay, let's hit Control Z. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Let's paste it here. This is where my windows' x-axis is going to be stored. Let's copy that. And this is where my windows' y-axis will be stored, ending it with a semicolon. Then, once I'm done creating two variables that stores my windows' width and height, I'm gonna go ahead and create two other variables. So I'm gonna go with a comment that says something like create two variables. Okay, that stores players. Is it considered my players' direction or my laser's direction? Let's see. This is why I love comments. Creates two, okay, that stores the world's direction and location. And since I am storing my worlds, or since my world is included here with stores direction or location, I will be using an F vector, not a F vector 2D, a regular F vector, which gives me access to my three-dimensional world, if that makes any sense, because practically our screen is two-dimensional. The vector is what actually gives me access to like a 3D space, if that makes any sense. I think that did not make any sense. Creates two variables that stores world's direction and location. Okay, To do that, I'm gonna go with something like an effector. Let's go with effector, vector. Okay, which is going to be, let's say, represented by, I won't represent it by a pointer, but I will be having, let's say, two local variables representing it. The first is going to be for, let's say, direction, and the second is going to be for my location. So I'm going to go with something like direction and location. And just to be sure, I want to see if my variable names are correct. Okay, well, world direction, world location, a bit more specific. I could do that. It's the same thing, honestly. Okay, let's go with something like world direction. Okay, and direction, and this is gonna be my world location. Let's add a world here, there. And then I end this with a semicolon. Hello Vic, have you tried VLang already? I actually have not tried VLang, but you've been saying me this for like so many streams that I might actually give it a shot as soon as I have some time. I'm hoping like maybe after this series, because I think the series will be ending in about like 3-ish months, because I got like 90-ish days left for this series. After that, I will be having a mini series where I might actually try VLang, and then I'm going to move on to my main series, Polish Alert, where I work on making a chatbot. That said, by chatbot I mean like a generated AI. Okay, that said, once I'm done with that, there are two other comments. One that says screen equals to 2D position, okay, and game world equals to 3D position. This function converts 2D screen position to a 3-dimensional world position and direction. And I'm so glad that I wrote this comment last stream so I could actually read. This is what I mean. This is why I actually love writing comments, because right now if I would have seen this, I would be like, what does this really do? Okay, so I see what it does. Screen equals 2D position, game world is 3D position. This function converts 2D screen position to a 3-dimensional screen position. 3-dimensional world position and direction. So I point my player controller towards the project screen position to worlds. The project screen position to world. What does this function do? Let me read it real quick. It does not say. Fine, let's search online. And then I might just go ahead and open my window here. There we go. Okay, you said that stream... Excuse me, guys. You said that stream ago, any stream ago, so long. Excuse me again, guys. So long time waiting, beautiful boy. That actually does make sense. The reason I'm not like really working on it right now is because I do like learn Python for my college and like C++ for my stream. If I add on a third language, I feel it's going to be like a bit more than I can chew, and I'm going to get confused between all three syntaxes type stuff. That said, whoa. Okay, guys, my antivirus just shot up for some reason. There we go. So a boolean of a player controller, the project screen position, requires all these parameters, is used to convert 2D screen space coordinates in pixels to a 3-dimensional world, location and direction. I see. Function purpose, input, screen, output, world direction, location, return. True if conversion succeeded, typically usage examples, blah blah blah. Oh, so that does come from my draw debug helpers as header files. Okay, get world position, okay. There, I guess I think I see what this means. I'm just gonna go ahead and exit that. So let's add it. So I just gotta remember the function name. So it's the project screen position to world. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that here. Okay, let's add a comment first. I'm gonna say to D equals to screen 3D equals to let's go with something like game worlds. Okay. This function is used to convert 2-dimensional screen to a 3-dimensional world direction and location. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say point to my player controller. So I'm gonna go with PC that points towards the project something. It was, I forgot. Let's go with something like D. Use Intel Essence. This is gonna be project. Okay. D project. Okay, D project screen position to world. So I gotta kind of remember this function name. It might be really handy in the future. D project screen. Okay, to D project screen position to world. There we go. Then I'm gonna go with the parentheses. Now, inside this function, I'm going to be requiring a bunch of parameters. I'm going to require my screens as x-axis, my screens as y-axis, a world location, and a world direction. World direction, world location. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill in the parameters, I guess. Well, I guess I'm gonna fill in the parameters right here. And then if I go down, there we go. Let's go there. Okay, so firstly, I'm gonna require my screens as x-axis, which is basically going to be my viewport x. Okay, and then I'm gonna require screens as y-axis. Hi, we're hiding Pixel Gaming. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with my viewport y-axis. Let's go with something like viewport y-axis, which is gonna be in charge of giving my this function my screens as y-axis, so it could convert that two-dimensional area to a three-dimensional direction allocation. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add another comma for my third parameter, which is world direction, and fourth parameter is the memory address of my world location. So are they supposed to be pointers? Hold up guys, let's gotta check that out. They're not supposed to be pointers. And viewport is gonna be divided by 2. I gotta ask Claude, why did I divide this by 2? Okay, I might just ask it right now. So I'm gonna go with something like divided by 2.f, which is basically 2 points. The point f basically is a floating point number. There. And then I'm gonna add it divided by 2.f here as well. Then I'm gonna go with a comma. I'm gonna go with something like my world direction, direction. And lastly, a world's position, or location, location. Okay, by the way, this is my gaming channel. Oh wait, are you like Pixels, like Pixel Shinobi? Hold up, let me actually check it out. This the channel. Oh, I see that. Actually, sounds kind of cool. Okay, that's sad. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and just end this with a semicolon. Alright, now I'm gonna ask this part to Claude real quick, like what does this really mean type stuff. So let's go to my C++ file again. I'm gonna kind of copy this. Okay, let's grab Claude here, paste it, shift enter, and say something like this. Say, I was writing this code while using the reference, and I came across a chunk of code that I did not understand. ... So what does this block of code mean? I know that it, let's say something like converts the 2D screen, the two-dimensional screen. Okay, what up guys? The two-dimensional screen to a three-dimensional world, and location three-dimensional worlds is direction. And location, the reason I'm telling what I know is so we can avoid the extra explanation type stuff. Location, location. Although the thing that I was confused on were the parameters that we used. Why did we divide the viewports by 2.f, and why did we not set the world direction and the world location to be pointers so we could use the address of operator? Question mark. Address of operator equals this. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and send this real quick. Okay, it really is me. I see. My main channel is Pixel Shinobi. That actually does sound kind of cool. I appreciate you joining the stream. That's it. Let me hide my lips real quick. There. Okay, great question. You're thinking critically. I love it. Let me break this down piece by piece. Question 1. Why did we divide by 2.0? Viewport X divided by 2, half of screens is width. Viewport Y divided by 2, half of screens is height. This gives you the center of the screen. Think about it. If your screen is 1920 pixels wide, viewport equals 1920 pixels wide. 1920 pixels divided by 2, is the center. So we divided to get the center of our screen. If our screen is 1080 pixels tall, viewport equals to 1080 pixels. 1080 pixels divided by 2 is 540 pixels, the center vertically. Why the center? Because you're raycasting from the middle of your screen, okay, where your crosshair would be firing in an FPS game, okay? If you want to raycast the mouse pointer instead, this is what I want to do. Floating point mouse X, mouse Y, get mouse position. I really want to do the mouse actually. I don't think the center is kind of appropriate for what I want to do. Get mouse position. I might do this. Hold up. Question 2. Why no pointers? Wait. Let me try that real quick. This might be something fun. So instead of actually going with the viewport, this get viewport size. That's actually kind of fun. But I guess I'm gonna go with mouse. Did I need a floating point? Okay, it is a floating point. Let's go with something like my mouse's x-axis, M-O-U-S-E-X, mouse's x-axis, and my mouse's y-axis, ending with a semicolon. Then I'm going to go ahead and point my player controller towards the get mouse, what was it called? Was it get mouse position? I might use IntelliSense here. Get mouse position, there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go with the pro parentheses, which requires 2 parameters. I think I did not have my mouse's function correct here. Get mouse position, it was correct. I'm going to be requiring my mouse's x-axis and my mouse's y-axis. Oh, these are the kind of functions that we need to add parameters so the red underline goes. Okay, guys, I'm actually really excited to try this now. So I'm going to go with something like mouse x. And then I'm going to remove my divided by 2 from here. I'm going to remove my divided by 2 from there. Set this to be something like mouse's y-axis. And this is what I was actually looking for. Okay, now let's read the next explanation up here for the second chunk of code. Okay, question 2. Why no pointers for the world direction and the world location? Excellent observation. This is confusing at first. The answer, they're already being passed by reference. Look at the function signature, you can check. Boolean of the project screen position to world, floating point x, floating point y, f vector, which represents the pointer. Out of world location, notice the address of operator, this too, and then constant. See the address of operator in the function definition? That means the function expects reference, not pointers. The difference, pointers using f vector world location pointer, my function world location pass address with it. Reference using address of operator, my function blah blah, pass directly. Oh, I see. Analogy, think of it like this. Pointers, you give someone your home address written on paper. Reference, you give a key to your home, okay? They can go directly there. Both let them access your house, but reference are cleaner because you don't have to write down the address yourself. The function definition already says I want direct access. So your source code, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I see. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's move on to the next part now. Actually, I might change to this thing here. Let's go ahead and set something like create to variables and then get mouse's x-axis. Let's go with something like mouse's x and y-axis the center. There we go. Okay, I mean, I don't think the center is actually kind of valid because mouse x-axis and y-axis is almost the same thing. Okay, that's sad. Okay, how do you decide what to learn? Honestly, I do like just think of a random topic and then I work on trying to program what I actually thought of. For example, adding shooting games, adding jumping games, and all that. I did not really have time to make a roadmap for Unreal Engine. So I just think of what are the different kind of aspects that game developers often use type stuff. For example, raycasting and all that stuff. And while I learn about those topics, I get an idea about what else do I want to add. So I start small and I keep going up and up and up, if that makes any sense. Let's go back to my C++ file. Now, in my C++ file, this is where the raycasting line starts. And now we're going to be working with the raycasting line. A line consists of 2 points, the starting position and the ending position. So we're going to be creating an F vector, which is going to be equal to my world direction. I'm going to be needing some explanation for this as well. And the ending position is going to be my start, which is my world direction, plus my world direction multiplied by 10,000. So the laser that I shoot, the ray that I actually shoot when I click some kind of input is only going to go 10,000 units away from my, let's say, player, if that makes any sense. Let's copy this jump now. Okay, let's get plot back up here. I'm gonna go ahead and paste it. Go with shift enter and say something like, let's say, Okay, I got another quick question about this chunk of code. Why did we use the world direction for the start question mark? I know I've used it for the end. And guys, why am I still using Sonnet 4.5 here? Is this the wrong chat by any chance? Okay, wait, look at your code again. You're not using world direction for start. I meant world location. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me break this down. Line 1. F vector start equals world location. Start equals where the ray begins. Your camera position in 3D space. This is the location, a pointer, a point in the world. Line 2, F vector end equals to start plus world direction multiplied by 10,000 and equal to where the ray ends. World direction equals to which way the ray is pointing. Oh, that's world direction. Okay. Hold up, analogy. Imagine you're standing. Let's see the visuals as well. I'm assuming this is not a flowchart, but this is some kind of visual explanation. It is visual explanation. Example, camera starts equals to world. This is where my camera begins because I see the world through my camera. Camera is actually used as my eyes. And then world direction, which way you're looking at. That's the direction, which way the camera is looking at because I look through my camera. Start, camera. World direction, which way? Multiplied by 1000. Shoot really far away, that's the end point. Oh, okay. Analogy, imagine if you're standing with a laser pointer. World location equals to where you're standing, your position. World direction equals to which way you're pointing, forward, left, up, etc. 10,000 equals to how far the laser shoots. Start equals to your position, end equals to your position plus the direction you're pointing, multiplied by how far do you want it to go. My position plus the direction you're pointing, multiplied by how far do I want to go. Oh, I see. Okay, this shouldn't be that hard in that case. Was he comment? So this is where the raycasting line starts and ends. Okay, let's add a comment that says something like raycasting, where does the ray start? And actually I might go with something like where does the ray start and end logic dot. Okay, I think the L could be lowercase here. There we go. Now for doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and create a F vector. Again, the reason I do create an F vector is because F vector gives me access to a three-dimensional vector, because for all we know, I would probably shoot my ray in the x-axis, y-axis, or the z-axis. Something like F vector, which is going to be represented by a pointer. Hello, hiding Calspan here, appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, so I'm going to go with something like F vector, which is going to be represented by a pointer called something like start. That is going to be equal to which way is my camera where is my camera located? That is going to be my world location. Okay, so my world location is which way my camera is located, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm going to go with something like another F vector, which is going to say something like end. Did you really improve in Blender lately? Actually, I have improved in Blender. Hold up, guys. Let me really show you guys one of my Blender meshes that I've made. Okay, this is a bit off content, but let me just go ahead and get my file explorer here. Go to something like desktop. Go to something like Blender items. Let's go with something like Blender meshes. The most latest mesh that I have been working on was my Lucy's. Actually, my Lucy's mesh. The wrong one. It was my let's go all the way up here. Do you guys see female warrior bird? There we go. Okay, so this was the latest mesh that I've been working on right here. And in case you guys can't see it in like the portrait mode in my vertical screen, make sure to move on to my horizontal screen. That's where I have it in landscape mode. There we go. This actually looks pretty good. I was just kind of messing up with my arms because my arms does not look like it's really arming, if that makes any sense. But I did manage to figure out why you guys add all these bunch of, how do you guys add these bunch of lines here? It's because of subdivision modifiers. Speaking of which, if I were to go to tab, I did not really add any smoothness or sculpting to it yet, but I'm going to probably flatten out my head here, create a neck, and then go on with sculpting my head. and then just work on my arms. I want to try using the I forgot what was the modifier called. Let me check real quick. It starts with a B. I think I'd say bevel modifier. I I think that I might use a bevel modifier for the arms and the legs or like the toes in general. That's it. That's pretty much it. I'm not gonna save this for now, but let's just exit. I don't want to spend too much time here. Okay, this accent, guys. Many of you guys do gotta say that. Okay, stop your fake accent, guys. Fake accent is actually kind of crazy. That said, let's go ahead and set my f vectors as end local variable to be equal to which way my camera is actually looking at or facing towards. So I'm gonna go with something like my world direction. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and increase that by which way am I? Wait, direction is facing. I think this should be world location, right? Oh wait, no mind. I mean, yeah, okay, it's the same thing, honestly. This is going to be my world location. World location is stored inside of my start variable. So I'm going to go with something like start. My start is going to increase by my world direction. Which way am I facing? Am I facing backwards? Am I facing towards the left, towards the right, downwards, diagonally, or whichever way I'm facing? I'm going to go ahead and multiply that by 10,000. That's 100,000, 10,000. Okay. Basically what this means is whichever is my start position, wherever my camera is located at, wherever my camera is facing, I want to multiply and let my ray go 10,000 meters or 10,000 units away from my player in that direction, ending with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done with this, I'm going to go back to my C++ file here. Why are you talking to English? Are you trying to target the audience from abroad considering you're streaming at this time? Honestly, I'm streaming at this time. It's like 2 p.m. for me because I just came from college. And guys, the reason I speak in this accent is because this is like the only accent that I really know. That's it. Let's go all the way down here because I realized one thing. It's really hard to actually fake accent unless you guys don't got like a lot of practice. Because I have actually seen people online who can speak in like about 24 different accents fluently, and that's something I might want to learn someday. Okay, speaking of which, I have, let's say, a comment here that says something like define hit result. This will store what we hit, okay? So basically, I did like ask Claude what the hit result meant yesterday. Hit result is basically a local variable represented by the f hit results structure, which whenever my ray is going to be, or whenever whichever object I'm trying to use, for example, my bullets to actually attack someone or deal damage, every time that object collides with something that actually has collision or like touches something with collision in it, that is going to be stored inside of my structure of the f hit result. Then later on down here, I go ahead and check. I add a tiny check to say if my bullet hit my own player or if my ray went through my own player. I want to ignore my actor, so I want to go ahead and register if my ray hit anyone besides myself. If that did happen, I move on to the fire the line traces section where my boolean variable of hit, where I create a boolean variable of hit, set that equal to my worlds pointer that points towards line trace by single channel, the class what that function does. But this is where I do something that I want to do if I get a hit results is if I get a hit results. If that made any sense, because I do require hit results as parameter here. I need to kind of work on my phrasing for this part because I did not really have much time to really go in depth of this because I just worked on raycasting last stream, but this stream I will be kind of breaking that part down. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe first copy this part. There. F collision query, I know what this does. I mean, since I'm getting explanation, might as well get explanation for this part as well. Yes, you said you write in two languages. Which are they? Honestly, I did like learn Python and C++. Python was like my, let's go Control Shift 0 so I can mess something up. Okay, Python was like my first ever language that I really worked on, but then now I have started C++ because I had like a whole new series. Honestly, wait, let me actually first send this to Gemini and then I'll actually let you guys know my entire backstory why I started C++ real quick. Let me see something I should say. Can I get a explanation for this chunk of code as well, question mark. Okay, let me actually send this. There we go. Okay, so the reason I actually did start C++ is back when I first started programming, I thought that we could make games with any language in general. That's the reason I moved on to Python, where I created a series where my goal by the end of the Python for 100 series was to make a game in general. I was done with that like 130-ish days, actually 160-ish days ago. And I did make a game using Pygame. That game was pretty good. Make sure to go check it out if you guys are kind of interested in it. You guys could get access to those videos either through my live stream, through my actual videos, or in my shorts. Speaking of which, once I was done with that, I created a new series, which I currently am in, where my goal was to spend the next 250 days, which I did spend like 161 days. Today is like the day 161 of it. Where my goal by the end of this series is to make a game in general that consists of AI logic. And since I thought that I was going to be making a game, I worked with, let's say C++, because that is apparently the best language to make a game. It really depends. C# is pretty good as well. That's the reason first I worked on learning C++, then moved on to learning SDL, and now I moved on to learning Unreal Engine. That was another thing. Later on, way after I started my series, I realized, or many of you guys did tell me, that generative AI and game AI are two separate things, because before I thought that when I meant a game that consists of AI logic in it, I thought a game something like Arkanator, where like the NPCs has their brains and they could like have their entire whole different storyline on their own. But many of you guys said that was like almost impossible, because like generative AIs firstly have a limit to them. I think because of the LLM models. You guys gotta fact check me on that. That's the reason I kind of scrapped that, adding actual generated AI in my game, and I'm just working with regular game AIs. So that's basically why I started working with Unreal Engine, because this is like a game engine that's built to make games. That said, after this series, spoilers alert, I might have another series where I do make a generative AI, because if you guys couldn't tell, I don't really like software engineering or like game development as much. But I do like AI engineering or like building robots or chatbots, if that makes any sense. Okay, that was about it. I said, like, I've been yapping way too much. Your English speaking skills is fabulous. Honestly, I appreciate your freedom. That actually means the world to me, guys. Okay, that's it. Now let's read the explanation. Alright, this is the actual raycasting part. Let me break it down line by line. Step 1 and 2, create the hit result container. F hit result, which is going to be represented by a pointer called hit result, okay? What it does, creates an empty box, which I was actually talking about, to store information about what you hit. Anything that contains collision or has collision enabled in it is going to be stored inside of my container here. Think of it like an empty report that will get filled in if the ray hits something, okay? Okay, what it contained after the raycast, what actor did we hit, what exactly did we hit, okay, which could either be the floor, either be my meat, or either be something else. Okay, what was the normal of the surface, which way the surface faces, distance to the hit, and more. Line 3 to 5 set up collision rules. F collision query parameters, which query params, I'm assuming params like the shortcut for parameters, which is represented by a local variable called query parameters. Query parameters dot ignore actor. I know what this does, I just don't know what the query means here. Okay, so what it does, creates rules for the raycasting, okay? Add ignore actor this. Ignore me Alex when raycasting, so it ignores Alex. Since Alex does have collision as well. Okay, why? Because the ray starts from your camera, so every time I shoot, it is always going to be having a collision. Without this, the ray would immediately hit your own character and stop. Analogy, it's like saying, I'm looking for objects in front of me, but don't include myself in the search. Line 6 to 12, fire the ray. So we use a boolean variable called hit, which we set it to be equal to our versus pointer that points towards. Line tree is signaled by channels as function that requires 5 parameters. The first is going to be hit result, where to store the hit. Second is going to be start, ray start position, from where does my ray start. End is going to be ray end position, where does my ray want to end, which is going to be 10,000 units away from which way my camera is facing. Third is going to be ECC underscore visibility. What channel to check? Gotta go more in depth in this part. Query parameters, rules, ignore self. Oh, I see, okay. This is the actual raycast. Let me explain each parameter step by step. I love that Claude really did this. Parameter 1, hit result. Know what that does, know what this does, know what that does. Fourth parameter, ECC underscore visibility. This is something that I didn't know. Collision channel. What type of objects to check? ECC underscore visibility equals to check objects that block visibility, for example, walls, floors, or props. Other options, ECC pawn, characters, ECC world, static building, etc. Oh, so basically what ECC underscore visibility does mean is check objects that block visibility. So basically anything, for example, let's say my hibiscus tea here. anything that passes through this, it cannot really pass through this because everything is visible until this part because my collision is enabled. If anything tries to pass this, it gets blocked. So my ray cannot see stuff that's visible outside of it, if that makes any sense. That makes sense. Okay, let me actually drink some. It's actually sour. Okay, the parameter 5, query parameter of params, the rules we set to ignore ourselves. Okay, that's basic. Return value, boolean hit, boolean hits. Okay. Returns true if the ray hits something, false if it's nothing after this line. If b hit equals to true, you hit something. For details, if b hit equals to false, ray went 1000 units and hit nothing. Putting it all together, create an empty report. Step 2, set rules. If we need any, I will definitely be adding these rules. Collision, query parameters, add ignore actor. Step 3, find the ray, check it, good, add all these parameters. Step 4, check the results. If B hits, we hit something, do something, else do something else. Camera, ray, object, hit result, stores about this. Excuse me, guys. Okay, I guess I understand the concepts. All I need to work on is the syntaxes now. So I'm going to create an f hit result. So I will store what we hit. So I'm going to go to my C++ file. I'm assuming it goes under my if statement, sure. So I'm going to add an if statement that says something like store hit result. To store my hit result, I'm going to go ahead and create something like a f hit results structure, which is going to be represented by a, let's say, pointer. Call something like hit result. I'm going to go with something like hit results. There. Okay, let's do that. Exit that real quick. We go there. There we go. I do like having a stream on my phone so I can see if everything goes good. Speaking of which, it's not a pointer. It's just a local variable. Okay, let's delete this. There we go. Okay, I see C++ and Python, but VLang starts with first letter of your name. Oh, that sounds kind of cool. You should switch to VLang, but that actually does make sense. I might have a short series on it. That said, once I'm done with store hit results, I'm gonna go ahead and add another comment. What's the next thing that I need to add? Okay, so I gotta add rules, define collision query parameters. Okay, so we have certain boundaries that we don't want to cross, ignore ourselves so we don't hit our own character. Okay, let's go with something like query params, P-A-R-A-M-S. Is that how I spell params? Okay, I don't think it's here. Ignore ourselves so we yeah, I think ignore ourselves makes so much sense. Let's go with something like ignore ourselves so we don't do not get hit by our own array. Guys, it's so hard to get the to phrase the comments up, but I think once it's perfectly phrased, it's going to be really easy to later on understand what the block of code does. To do this, I'm going to go ahead and firstly use into lessons. Then I forgot what's it called. So it's F, so it's a structure, F collision query parameters. So let's go with something like the F collision query parameters, P-A-R-A-M-S, okay, which is going to be represented by a pointer. Is it a pointer? Can't see, let me go back here. It's represented by a local variable. Okay, add ignore actor. So it's going to be represented by a local variable called something like query query params, P-A-R-A-M-S, ending with a semicolon. Then my query query params params is my local variable, is going to be using the dots into lessons. Let's see. Add ignore actor. Oh my gosh, I love that this exists. I want to go ahead and ignore this, which is myself. Add ignore actor. Actually, I think I did the shortcut. Add ignore actor. There. I-G-N-O-R-E. Add ignore actor into lessons. Add ignored actor, I-G-N-O-R-E-D. There we go. This is why I said that I took the shortcut up there, because if I just use it to lessons, then I wouldn't really know what the function is called, because I thought it's ignore parameters, but it's ignored parameters. The ed at the end. Okay, once I'm done with this, what's the next part? Next thing, I just gotta go ahead and fire the line trace by using the line trace signal by channels function. Trigger line trace. To do this, I'm gonna go with something like a Boolean variable called something like hit. That is gonna be equal to, I'm gonna zoom in a little so you can see a bit more clearly. And then just go a bit more here, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and set my Boolean hit variable to be equal to my Unreal Engine's world that points towards into lessons again. Let's go with something like line trace. Is it add line trace? Add line. Let's see. Line trace signal by channel. Okay, let's go with something like line trace. Line trace TRACESIGNAL by channel. This function. My line trace signal by channels this function is going to be requiring a parameter line trace signal by channel there. SINGLE. What up, guys? How do you get the pronunciation? SINGLE PRONOUN. Pronunciation. Guys, if this pronunciation is really easy, that's going to be very, very awkward. What up? Let me kind of get this here real quick. Let's go to my OBS real quick. There we go. Wait. Why did it say OBS crashed? Let's just exit it. Already mic testing. Guys, I don't know why did it say OBS crashed for some reason. I shouldn't have clicked no. Speaking of which, let me know if the stream just crashed somewhere. I don't think it really did crash. Is the stream going on? Okay, it says OBS crashed again. I'm just gonna kind of ignore this. Let's just leave this somewhere down there. Let's leave it in the trenches of the void. Let's close that. Okay. Okay, I guess let's read the pronunciation. I wanted to open my OBS to really enable my desktop audio. There we go. Let's listen to it. Single. Wait, shut up, guys. I don't think I heard it. There. Is it just me or? Well, I guess it's not actually why can't I listen to the audio? Can you guys listen to the audio? Well, I guess not. Don't want to open a YouTube video for it. Okay, I guess it's called single. SINGLE. SIGNAL. Oh, it is single. It is single. Okay. Line trace single by channel. How does that make sense? Signal makes more sense. That's the reason I got confused. Okay, what's good, my boy? He's good now. Howdy, Sprongle. I appreciate you joining the stream. That said, this is single. Let me add a comment here that says something. It's pronounced. It's PRONOUNCE as single, not signal. There we go. The reason I know this is later on in the future, I will be coming back and pronouncing this as signal and not single. Your mic and stuff are out of sync. Is there really? Already mic testing. Okay, my stream crashed again for some reason. Okay, so basically what I was gonna do is, there we go. Is it working? There. Okay, so technically what I was gonna do is I went up to Claude and I was asking Claude that I had some other questions, where my question was, what does this chunk of code mean? And why do we use the question mark operator, or what is it called? Okay, I guess I gotta go ahead and keep my OBS open so I can see if there's any kind of issues. Okay, I guess the stream's going for now. It's going good for now. Okay, great question. This is the Ternary operator, let me explain. I have like worked with ternary operators. It's called like conditional expressions in C++. I mean in Python. But I haven't worked with like the question mark. What it does, draws a visible line in the game world so you can see the raycast yourself. Draw debug line, world, which world to draw it in, start position, and end position. It still goes on. B hits. Why is there a question mark? Okay. The question mark operator, ternary operator, B question mark, F color red, colon, F color green. And this is the shorthand for an if-else statement. Oh, the ternary operator format, condition, value if true, value if false. B hit is the condition. True, if not true, false. If a hit occurred, red. If a hit did not occur, green. That makes sense now. Okay. If B hit is true, use F color red, else use F color false. Is the same as writing color. Okay, if B hits this, else green. Line color, draw debug line, will start, blah blah blah. Okay, I guess let's go ahead and do that. Let's go somewhere in my C++ file. Under this, I'm going to go ahead and add a comment that says something like draw line that makes the invisible ray visible, dot dot dot. Okay, so I'm going to use a conditional expression where I'm going to go ahead and use the draw lines as function. Is it called draw debug line? Let's use into lessons to check this out. So I forgot the function name. Draw debug line. So that is correct. I'm gonna go with something like the draw debug line, which requires a bunch of parameters. The first parameter is gonna be my U world, which is technically gonna be my world. The second parameter is gonna be where does my line start. Third, where does my line end? Color. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like start. Where does my line start? End, where does my line end? Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and require a color. Okay, where I'm gonna go with something like what color do I want to set? I'm gonna go with a ternary operator slash a conditional expression, but I will be calling it ternary operator because this is in Python. So let's go with something like whoops. B hits if my boolean of hit variable question mark, that is my condition. Here my values come. If my boolean of hit condition is set to true, I want my ray to be, let's go with something like color. Was it supposed to be colored? F color. Okay, color is the structure. I'm gonna go with something like the F color is a structure. I want my ray's color or my debug line to be something like red. Else, I'm gonna use a colon for the else. My F color, the structure, is going to be set to something like what color do I want to put it? Let's think. Green is pretty vague. Either black or green if I hit, black if I miss. There. Green if I hit, green if I hit, black if I miss. There. Okay, once I'm done with this, I'm just gonna go ahead and add my parameters with a semicolon, then I add a if statement to check. If we hit something, then my A actor is going to be represented by a pointer called something like hit actor, okay, which is going to be equal to hit result, my structure, which is represented by a local variable, dot the get actor. If this is just to add my G engine add screen debug message, not really compulsory, but pretty handy to have. Okay, why is this one of the most tedious parts in the entire program, even though this isn't really the hardest part out of it all? I get my hit actor, I check if it's not null PDR. If it is a null PDR, and I did get a hit result, so A actor. Okay, looking here carefully, it said A actor, so we're talking about a broad range of actors. Not my Alex, not my meat, not a specific floor, any actor in general. is represented by hit actor. That's equal to hit result.get actor. I'm gonna get exactly who I hit. If my actor does exist, if I did really hit someone and it's not null PDR, get G-engine out of debug message, blah blah blah, yada yada. Percent F. What does the percent S does? I gotta check that out. I think the percent S gives us an integer, but I will fact check that. Else no hits. Why did you get so lazy all of a sudden? Okay, I guess because I was kind of processing that. Check if he hit something. I'm gonna end this with a semicolon, add another comment that says something like check if you hit something. Alright guys, go here and say something like check if we hit something. Okay, there, I'm gonna go ahead and add an if statement to check if my be hit variable was set to true. If I did make contact, if I hit someone, I'm gonna go ahead and do something. My A actors this broad range of let's say object is going to be represented by pointer. Is it called object? Whatever, we gotta check this. Hover over it. Why? That does not say anything, I guess. Although I'm going to call it an object. A broad range of object is going to be represented by a hit actor. Okay, that is going to be equal to my hit results dot the get actor. Get exactly who did I hit. You know, I'm going to add a mini comment to get exactly who did I get, which actor did I hit? Okay, and then once I get the actor that I hit, I'm gonna go with something like display a debug message message on the window telling who did I hit. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like AG engine. Whoops, let's go with something like AG engine that points towards, let's say, add-on screen debug message. I'm gonna go with something like an add-on screen debug message. Okay, where the M is going to be uppercase. Okay, which requires a few parameters, or should I say a bunch of parameters, where my first parameter is going to be key. -1. I want my message to disappear after a certain amount of time and not stay in my window. How long do I want it to stay in my window for? I'm gonna go with something like 1.f. I want it to stay for 1 second on my window. What color do I want my text to be? I'm gonna go with something like f color as a structure, which is gonna be where I'm gonna be using a scope resolution operator to get a hold of my, let's say something like, I want to go with black. Let's go with black. Red. There. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like an add-on screen debug message where I have red. And then the third parameter is gonna be an f string. I'm gonna go with something like f string, which uses a scope resolution operator to point towards the newer C++ function, which is the printf function. I don't know really how new it is, has it been a year, but I have very recently heard of this stuff. Inside the printx function, I'm gonna add a text. In my text, I'm gonna say something. I'm just copying the text from here because I don't really want to create a new text. It says hit with a %s format specifier that goes with something like the memory address or a pointer. Why do we use an asterisk here? Gotta ask that out. I want to go ahead and get my name. My pointer's name. Okay. Let's go with something like hit. Okay, with a %s format specifier. I'm gonna go with something like whose name was I getting again? My actor, right? My head actor. So I'm gonna go with something like the address of operator, or it can be used as a dereferencing operator. So I might need to look into that. I'm gonna go with something like head actor, which is gonna be pointing towards get actor name. This function. Parentheses to invoke the function. Is my function name correct? Get name, not actor name. It's just name. Get name. Okay, so is it called my floor? Is it called my meat? Is it called something else? And then I'm gonna go ahead and end my G-engine add-on screen debug message with a semicolon. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and add a else clause here. where my else clause is going to be adding another gengine add-on debug message. Speaking of which, I kind of forgot to do something here. I had to check if my actor is not null PDR. Let's add an if statement. If a prof parentheses, if my head actor is not equal to null PDR, I'm kind of lazy, so I'm gonna go with something like if it's equal to null PDR, I'm gonna go ahead and return, ending with a semicolon. Okay, this is the lazier way to do it. This is the way that I usually prefer doing. I check if it's not null PDR. If it's not null PDR, you know what that means. Okay, else I'm gonna go ahead and add a gengine, which points towards a add-on screen debug message. Okay, which is going to again require a few parameters. I do not have the patience to kind of type this all out again. There. Blah blah. Debug message. Why do I see it red underlined? This is something new. Let's think. So, maybe because my parameter is like. I mean, I don't think it's because my parentheses is there, right? I ended everything with a semicolon. Let's see the reference. Okay, has my if statement ended with what did I do here? Where did I mess up? It ends with a prof curly braces, and then I started there, I ended there. I have my parentheses, get names as parentheses. Okay, everything here is correct. Gengine add-on debug message. I'm gonna go with something like maybe just a regular text, because this is my else clause, so I'm gonna go with something like a text. Where my text is gonna be. Did I copy my gengine add-on debug message correct? I think I did. Missed. There. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and get this new line up. There. Okay, perfect. I mean, might as well get this up as well. Just like, why not? Okay, perfect. I think that's actually about it. If I were to go to my C++ file now, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So, now that I'm done with all this, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete it. Okay, this was the function reference that I needed. I'm gonna hit Control S to save the code because I will not be needing anything else from there. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of copy this gengine parts. I know what it does, but I want to get an explanation for the format specifier. Let's paste this, go with chip tender and say something like, say, another question, exclamation. I know what this gengine, which points towards a add-on screen debug message, does, although I was just curious as to, let's go with something like just CURIOUS, as to what does the, let's see, as to what does the format specifier of the %s do question mark, and is it also called a format specifier? Okay, let's see. And of course, I gotta always click the send button instead of hitting enter. Okay, that still feels kind of tedious, to be honest. Okay, excellent question. Yes, it's called a format specifier. What %s does? %s equals to string format specifier. It's a placeholder for a string value. Think of it like a blank space text hit. This is a blank that would be filled in. F string, okay, value inserted. Okay, how it works. The value to insert. Okay, wait, let me actually ask one more question. Examples. F string, okay, name is going to be equal to text Alex. Print F text player S name Alex. Why do we use the okay, why do we use the asterisk? Is it considered a dereferencing operator here, and what's the purpose? Okay, let's see. And of course, I gotta always hit the send button. I keep forgetting that I hit enter instinctually. Exactly as the dereferencing operator, but it works differently here than with pointers. Let me explain. Two uses of the asterisk. Use one pointer dereferencing what you know, integer my pointer, which equals to the address of operator of some integer value equals to my pointer, get the value the pointer points to. Think I see. Operator overloading. What's happening here? I did work with operator overloading. I kind of forgot. That was back when I was working with just basic C++ and not SDL or like the Unreal Engine syntaxes. F string name text Alex constant tchar raw string name convert F string to raw C string. Okay. Why do we need it for F strings? Unreal has two types of strings. F strings. Unreal's factory fancy string class has a lot of functions. Tchar raw C style strings, just raw character data, no fancy features, what old C /C++ function expects. The problem, F string print F, text hits S, okay, blah blah blah. I think I see. What is the operator difference? Char operator const array translation when someone uses asterisks. On me, give me the raw string data analogy. Think of F string as a gift wrapped in a present and constant char as the actual gift. Unwrap F string. Oh, okay. And then get name, first string to unwrap both. So the purpose converts F string to tchar required because printf expects all string style call operator overloading, the asterisk operator reused for different purposes. I think I see. Okay, so I'm gonna hit Control S to save the code now. Let's hit Control S in my header files as well. Now let's open my Unreal Engine. Moment of truth, guys. Let's try compiling the code. I'm gonna hit Control Alt F11, and then magically once I'm done compiling this, I'm gonna go ahead and extend my details browser here. Click my Alex instance. Go with something like inputs, because yeah, guys, the program isn't like the only thing we gotta do. We gotta add stuff in the Unreal editor. I got an error. Summon function, Alex's summon function, trace right, what line is it? So Alex's header files are 103 and 105. 103 and 105. Summon function, oh, I had two summon functions. My bad. Okay, let's hit Control S to save the code. Now let's go ahead and open Unreal Engine again. I'm gonna go ahead and live compile. Control Alt F11 to compile. There we go. Guys, tiny mistakes, gotta pay attention towards. Okay. Let's wait for this to compile. Result succeeded. Is it gonna say result succeeded? There we go. Okay, perfect. Result succeeded. So once I'm done with that, I'm gonna click my Alex's instance and I'm gonna go ahead and get a empty cluster. I guess it's filled. Never mind. You guys can ignore when I said empty. Oh, I forgot to do an important step. Hold up, guys. In my C++, I forgot the main thing, my binding. Let's do that real quick. So under my bind summon action and destroy summon action, I'm gonna add another comment that says something like bind shoot action. Okay, then I'm gonna go with something like enhance separate component that points towards something like bind action. Okay, which requires a few parameters. First is going to be my action name, which is going to be called something like shoot action. Here's the thing, I shoot when I click my LMB. So do I have a shoot action? Some meets, spawn meets, LMB action, yada yada. Okay, I guess I shoot when I click left mouse button, so no shoot action now. Let's go with LMB action. And then I require a trigger type, so I'm going to go with something like a trigger event, which is going to be using a scope resolution operator to point towards a specific event type. We're going to go with started. So if LMB action has been started on this object, I want to do what the memory address of my Alex's class tells me to do. The function which is going to be grabbed on using the scope resolution operator is going to be called the shoot function. I want to do what the shoot function tells me, ending with a semicolon. And then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and bind my LMB functions. LMB functions. Action. To bind my LMB action, I'm going to go with something like enhance input component, which points towards bind action. Okay, which requires the same amount of parameters. First, my action name, LMB action. Okay, where I'm going to be requiring a trigger event. So I'm going to go with trigger event, which points towards start using a scope resolution operator. So if my LMB action has been started on this object, I want to do what the function of my Alex's class tells me to do. Function name is going to be LMB underscore pressed. Now, here's a question. Why do you guys think that I've added the exact same parameters, just different function names for my bind shoot action and my bind LMB action? Well, the reason is because I want to activate both my LMB um, rest function and my shoot action at the same time once my left mouse button has been pressed. If that makes any sense. Then I'm going to go with another enhanced input component which points towards. I'm going to go with something like bind action, blah blah blah. This is going to be requiring my action name, which is going to be LMB action. A trigger type, I'm going to go with something like e-trigger event, which uses a scope resolution operator to point towards completed. Once this action has been completed on this object, I want to do what my Alex's LMB underscore release function tells me to do. Ending with a semicolon. Here's the thing now. Before I really initiate my function, did I add a content that I only want to attack my player if I have my right mouse button pressed? Might have to look into that. But before that, I'm going to go to my Unreal Engine, go Control Alt F11 real quick. Now I'll compile my code. Let's wait for it to compile. Guys, my eyes are kind of itching for no reason. That's let's see. Let's go ahead and go to my Alex's instance. Do I have anything else to fill here? I do not have, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and exit that as well. Exit this. There we go. I'm gonna go to my IMC default. I have an I underscore LMP action. Everything is there. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and run my code. I can click. Whoa. Me just spawned on my face. Am I flying? I can literally see the bones. Something isn't right here. Let's see. M? Why is the meat spawning in my face? Let's exit that real quick. Tiny mistake here. Let's see what can I do to fix it. Before I fix it, I want to try running again. Okay, you're grinding hardcore. Honestly, let's go. That actually does sound kind of cool. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and right click. Whoa, okay, you guys see these tiny shots that I missed, right? Why is everything going so fast? Bam, 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 bam. Missed? Doesn't floor. Okay, it hit my floor. Can I go ahead and hit my meat? Hit floor. Gotta go to my meats instance. Missed, 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 missed. Hit, 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 hit. Could have sworn that I hit my meat. Alright, I don't know where am I. Alright, let's... Okay, let's go to my MC defaults. Something is messed up. I have I underscore RB, look, move. I have my B, and then is my variable set to a 2D vector. Gonna go to Lisa C++, hit Control C. Alright, let's see something. Did I miss something important here? The one thing that I could actually think of that I actually messed up on could be, let me first just see this real quick. Okay, these might be the only things that I messed up on. I want to see the difference. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go with something like copying my shoot function. Let's copy it. Actually, I'm gonna go with Control A, Control C. Let's copy everything. I'm gonna grab Claude up here, paste it, go with Shift Enter and see something like to say. This is my code now, but something does not feel correct because my meat spawns on my face, dot dot dot, and my sensitivity. How do you spell sensitivity? SENTI VITY. My sensitivity. CTIDITY there. Okay, and my sensitivity is very high. So I move very fast, and my ray shoots very fast as well. And it's not as thick as the ray that I used for the program that I wrote yesterday. Okay, let's see. Let's go with something like yesterday. Okay, and then let's go ahead and send the message real quick. I think that I don't understand what I got here. Okay, let's see. Alright, I see multiple problems. Let's fix them one at a time. Problem 1. Meat spawns on your face. Look at line 139, F vector spawn location. This spawns in your location plus 300 units away. If your camera is close to your character, 300 units might be too close. I don't know much about that. Okay, fix spawn further or camera. It did work before perfectly. Spawn location or spawn position instead. Actor multiplied by 500. Option B, spawn from camera better. I might go with option B. Problem 2, super high sensitivity. Your mouse sensitivity is probably set too high in your input mapping context and under Engine OpenIMC default. I don't think I need to do that though. Look at line 3, this is wrong. Float mouse X, mouse Y, D position, raycast from position. You're raycasting from the mouse position, not the screen's center. I think I was gonna go from the mouse's position if you want raycast from screen center. As an FPS. Like an FPS crosser, use this. Or if you want to shoot the mouse where the mouse is pointing, your code is correct, but you need to make mouse visible. Problem 4, not thick. Look at line 20. Color boolean of persistent float lifetime. You're missing this, you're missing this, you're missing this, you're missing that. Fix false. 2.f, 0, 3.f. Make it thick. Here's the corrected shoot function. So if it's not LPDR or if it's not LPDR, I want it to shoot from a screen and then F vector, collision params. Okay, visibility, query parameters, debug line, world start and temporary last 2 seconds, depth, thickness. False 2 and 5, 205. Okay, let's try adding that real quick. So I'm gonna go up here. Let's add a few more parameters. I'm gonna go, wait, not here. Whoops, wrong place. I'm gonna go here. Study comma, I'm gonna go with something like false. Let's go with something like, whoops, 2.f and 0, 5.f. Okay, so this is persistence line that's set to false, lifetime 2 for 2 seconds, depth priority 0, thickness 5. Okay. Now let's hit Control S to save the code. I did that. World location, start end. Everything else is correct to be honest. Let's compile the code again. I'm gonna go with Control Alt F11. And then later on I will be adding an RMB check, like while my right mouse button is being pressed and I click my button, that's when I want to actually shoot my ray. Let's exit that, let's run the program. That's thick. Okay, that's thick. Shoots at my... Okay, maybe I wanted to shoot in the center because it kind of just closes the gap here, if that makes any sense. So wait, this might be it, this might be it. Let me go to my camera. I might be able to use third person this way. I'm gonna scroll down. Let's go to something like follow camera. Gonna get it back, gonna get it back. They're gonna get it a bit further behind. Gonna get it way higher. Gonna go with E. Gonna rotate myself in the y-axis to get myself a bit lower. And then I'm gonna go ahead and kind of shrink this and run the code. Now I want to go a bit. I want to go a bit more back. Follow camera. Go a bit more to the back. And a bit higher, just a jiffy. Now let's run the code. There we go. M to spawn a meat. There we go. It's spawn. Okay, for some reason my camera was a bit in front of my player. Backspace logic works if I hit. Whoa. Shoots from my camera. I want it to be shooting from my player. Okay, let's just hit some backspace to get these meats off here. Okay, let's see. So missed. How did I miss? Floor hit. I'm gonna go with M. Let's try hitting the meats. Floor hit. I keep hitting the floor, not the meat. Miss, 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 miss. Trying to aim for the meat here. The line is pretty thick. Do you guys see meat? I didn't hit my meat once. Okay, let's add a bunch of meats here. So, there. I'm missing every single time? There is no way, right? Oh, finally I hit a meat. There we go. Oh, it just barely scraped by. Let's try that again. Nope, gotta look this way. That way. There we go. Okay, that barely scraped by, so I gotta kind of fix that. My lasers are currently popping off my camera, but I wanted to pop off my mouse in front of my players. So, let's say I want to go ahead and add another camera. This is going to be just an active camera for me to be able to see my player while doing all this stuff. It's going to be follow camera. This is going to be kind of tricky. What if I had Control Z? Does it fix stuff? Nope. Control Shift Z. I'm going to get my follow camera here. I'm going to get it lower. I'm going to click E, adjust the size back. Wait, whoa. I only want to move my follow camera, nothing else. Just my follow camera. I'm gonna go here, click Alex's instance again. I'm gonna go down, only my follow camera, nothing else. Gonna get it in front. Gonna hit something like this thing and kind of level it back up here. And then I'm gonna go a bit in front. Hey, do you develop on Roblox? Honestly, I used to like make models for like Roblox developers, but these days I did stop that. When I say I used to make models, it used to be years ago, like 3 years ago, because I used to kind of enjoy modeling back then. Then I stopped because of most of my college work, and now I started learning programming because I feel it's a bit more fun. Although I have gotten back to programming to like make these 3D models and all that stuff, but I lost most of my touch in it, so I do gotta improve myself a bit more. Let's go with something like W, give myself a bit in front, that's gonna be my head. Now, what if I... It's not that bad, honestly. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go more in depth next stream, but I'm gonna hit something like Control Alt. Actually, before I actually compile this code, I wanna go down to my headers. Do I wanna? Okay, you know what? Let's do it this stream. Like, I do gotta study for my exam, but I guess let's do it. Let's say something like, since I think that it does look a little weird because I want my ray to be set to my mouse, like wherever I hit, whenever, let's go with something like whenever I hit my LMB and wherever my mouse pointer is located at, I want my ray to shoot from my mouse pointer and not from my camera. Can we do that, question mark? Okay, let's see. Oh, this actually works. Now I understand what you want. You want to click on object with your mouse cursor, like clicking on enemies in a strategy game or clicking in objects in the real world. Yes, we can do that. In fact, your original code was closer to correct. Let me fix it. The problem with the original code, you were using get mouse pointer, blah blah, which gives the mouse's position on the screen, but you need to use it differently. Here's the correct way to use raycasting from mouse cursor. While Alex's shoot function, okay, we do all the basic stuff. I go ahead and get my mouse's pointer. Convert the stuff, mouse pointer, raycast, blah blah blah. Okay, but here's one critical thing you need. Your mouse cursor must be visible. Void Alex RMB pressed. See your mouse cursor, you hide the cursor. If the cursor is hidden, you can't click on things. two options: begin one, keep cursor visible, strategy game style, and begin play. Add void Alex begin play, PC, blah blah blah. Keep cursor visible. I wanna remove your cursor hiding in R&B functions. Option 2, toggle cursor with a key hybrid. Okay, toggle cursor. My recommendation for clicking slash shooting. Option 1, keep the cursor visible on begin play, add comment, remove stuff. Let me say something like, since even if I do that, when I click stuff, even though my ray aims where my mouse is, it follows my camera. Like the ray comes out of my camera and aims to my mouse, which looks good. I want the spawning S1B SPAWNING, the spawning point of my ray to be my mouse's pointer. If that makes any sense, guys. And speaking of which, I am really exhausted. I don't want to like completely exhaust myself because I do gotta study as well. So maybe I'm just gonna figure out what to do here, and then I'm gonna continue the resting in the next stream. Now I understand. So what you're doing, ray goes. So camera, ray starts, ray goes. This is how raycasting works. Okay, the mouse is a 2D thing on your screen. It doesn't have a position in a 3D space. It's just pixels on your monitor. What you're seeing, camera, ray starts, your ray goes towards mouse. This is how raycasting works. The ray must start from the camera. But I think what you actually want is make it look like the ray is coming from the cursor by standing close to the screen. Okay. Instead of starting at camera with location, go with world direction. Okay, move 500 units forward, multiplied by 500. World location is gonna be my world direction multiplied by 500. Oh, that makes sense. And guys, the reason I'm really exhausted right now to have good commentary plus cross parentheses, I'm gonna go with something like my world direction multiplied by 500.f. That might be really good. It might work. Let's get. I opened Blender, my mistake. Hold up. Let's get Unreal Engine here. Exit my Blender. I'm gonna go back up there. Let's get it there. I'm gonna go a bit more to the back. I'm gonna go very, very high and then hit something like E, moving the axis. And then I'm gonna hit Control Alt F11 to compile the code. And now let's see what happens. This should look kind of pretty good to be honest. Let's run the code real quick. Guys, can you guys see anything that I'm shooting? Hold up. Firstly, I want to get this a bit more to the back. Let's go to my follow camera. I'm gonna get it a bit backwards. They're much better. Now let's run the code. I'm gonna hit M. Spawn meets. Miss. I keep missing. I can't hit anything. Control Alt F11. Did I compile the code? While it's compiling, I want to check if my functions exist. I'm going to go to Alex, type something like input. Are they binded? They are binded. I'm going to go ahead and exit that. I'm going to go to my IMC defaults. Wait. Okay, everything is correct here. I just can't see my array anymore. Why might that be? Let's try running the program. It says that I missed. Where are my colors? See, so guys, ignore the red underlines. That is just the my Visual Studio kind of tweaking. Speaking of which, let's go up here to my category. Summon meet, LMB action, not header file, C++ file. There we go. If I hit something, I want to do this. Thickness, I'll get it to be something like 100 just for now. I want to see if I can actually see it. Let's go with Control Alt F11. Let's compile the code now. I just want to see if I can literally see my stuff. That's the reason my thickness is really thick. Shoot, I crashed my program. I can move around. Miss, miss, miss. I see. Okay. Wait, let's set this to 5 again. Let's set this to 5 again. Okay, the thing that I might have been messing on was that I could most likely change this to be something like 50. Or if not 50, I could set this to be something like 10. That's a 10.f, ending with a semicolon and hit, let's hit Control S. Now let's go with something like Control Alt F11, Alt F11 to compile the code. This would make more sense. I think 500 gets it go way too far that I can't really see it with my eyes. Should I see it go? Fine, let's go with something like neither one of these. I'm gonna remove all the pluses. Hit Control S, let's see if this works. Control Alt F11 again. Let's compile this real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and exit this, run the program. I don't see my ray at all now? Really? What did I do? Control A, Control C. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. Let's get Claude here. Let's go ahead and paste it. Go with Shift and see something nice and say. For some reason, I do not see my ray anymore. ... I see the debug message, but it only says that I've missed my rays and not that I've shot anything. Let's see why. And guys, I keep forgetting that I gotta hit my send button and not enter in my keyboard. Okay, let's see. Look at that line 213. You're only moving forward from the start point 10 units. Forward is nothing. Wrong here, wrong here. You swap the parameters, look at the function. Location and direction. Location and direction, so it's... I didn't know that it was like orderly. I thought we could add in any order, but that sounds kind of... Oh, I did actually completely mess it up. Location, and that's gonna be world direction. Why did it work before though? Control S, let's set this to be 500 again. Now let me go ahead and open my Unreal Engine up here again, hit Control Alt F11 to compile the code. Hopefully this is going to be the final time that I'm compiling it, because this is definitely going to work, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and run the program real quick. Well, I guess it ain't bad. Let's go ahead and summon a few meats. See if I can kind of aim at them. Well, I mean, I guess I can aim at them now, and I get black aims if I hit at the sky, and it looks so cool, to be honest. What? Okay, I guess I can just go ahead and shoot it. Let's aim. Let's aim. Okay, well, that's good. I gotta like probably stop playing with it. Now let's go to the header files, and I did like work some on this. I'm going to be working more and learning more about this program next stream, because I did not have much time. I've been streaming for like almost 2 hours now, 3 minutes to 2 hours. So what I am basically gonna do right now is go to my C++ file and go all the way up here and remove the show mouse circle. Okay, here's one thing though. I want my mouse cursor to be seen when I'm shooting. Alright, fine, I guess I'll remove it. Okay, I'm just removing it because it looks better this way. There. Okay, let's hit Control S to save the code. I usually prefer it when we like rotate around and our mouse cursor is not being seen, if that makes any sense. So no, wait, I forgot to hit Control Alt F11. Control Alt F11. Let's wait for the program to compile real quick. Okay, result succeeded. I'm gonna go ahead and exit this, run the program. Now, if I can't see my mouse cursor. Okay, I'm gonna go to my constructor. Fine, let's go with something like my A player controller. Let's go with PLEYER, CONTROLLER, which is going to be represented by a pointer called PC. Is going to be equal to something like cast, a pair of ankle braces, A player controller. Okay, where I'm gonna add a pair of parentheses, and add a parameter of my controller, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm gonna go ahead and point my player controller towards the show mouse cursor, this function CUR which is going to be set to true every single time until essence boolean of show mouse cursor, excuse me guys, is going to be equal to true, and it's not a function. Excuse me guys, let's hit control F to save the code. Make the mouse cursor visible every time. Okay, actually make the mouse cursor visible always. There, and then I'm going to add another space here, hit Control F to save the code, go on to Unreal Engine, hit Control Alt F11 to compile the code, and this time it should be working perfectly. Hold up, let's wait for it to work perfectly real quick. Result succeeded. Let's go ahead and end this. Now if I go ahead and... I ran into a crash. Fingers crossed everything is saved. I'm actually going to be kind of mad if it isn't saved. Okay, let's see. So what did I have to do up here? Okay, and the fix could be in my constructor. I want to go ahead and add something. Blah, blah. Alright guys, let me just check something up here real quick. Okay, pretty sure Gemini showed me some. Actually, Claude showed me something up here. Okay, this is what I'm looking for, a constructor here. So let me know if you guys see a constructor somewhere up here. Okay, I think it's almost up here, right? Let's scroll all the way up till I see a constructor line. Constructor line. Okay, I don't see a constructor line yet. I think I kind of missed it. Okay, well, I mean, I guess it's fine. Okay, I want to go ahead and restore everything selected. Fine, let's go ahead and restore it. Here's the thing, after I compiled my code, there was an issue here. Please tell me everything is saved. Want to go to my content, want to go to new map, please tell me everything is saved. I mean, there's just so much that could not be saved. Okay, way more than expected was not saved. Let's go with an if statement. If my PC is not equal to null PDR, then I want to go ahead and do something. I want to go ahead and copy this and paste it here. Hit Control S to save the code. I'm going to go ahead and open my Unreal Engine real quick before I do anything else. Actually, I'm going to hit Control F11. Let's go ahead and risk it for the biscuit, I guess. Result succeeded, so we had to check if our player controller is not null PDR. I've been wondering what that does before I run the code. I'm gonna make sure I save every last thing here. Yes, everything is kind of saved. I still see my mouse cursor, but I all of a sudden don't. I don't see my mouse pointer as well. Don't you have school? How many hours you sleep? Honestly, I just came from college. It's like 3 p.m. for me. I wanna always show my mouse cursor, and I do not see my mouse pointer anymore as well. Is it perhaps because I did not mouse location, that's location, that's direction. Okay, that's correct. Let's go with Control A, Control C real quick. I think I know where I kind of messed up at. Let's just go ahead and paste it here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and paste this and say something like sensei. I added a block of code in my constructor that tells me to, tells me to show the mouse cursor always, but I don't see my mouse cursor anymore. Let's see why. Are you in college? What did you say? Please say slowly. Honestly, I did start college. I'm a freshman in college and I just came from college like a while ago. I'm gonna be sleeping like I think it's 7-ish more hours. That's sad. Actually, I think it's like 9 more hours when I'm gonna go ahead and sleep. That said, what you call it? I do actually get about 8 hours of sleep, I guess. Let's go ahead and send this real quick. I need to actually track how long of a sleep I get. I think it's about 7 to 8 hours. The problem is in your constructor. Okay, this one work in the constructor. Why? Because the constructor is set. Move it to the begin play. Oh, okay, the begin play. Why did I actually add it in the constructor? Is there some kind of reason? Okay, I think I just assumed that it was going to get in the constructor. What made me think that I construct whether or not my mouse is being seen? Just gonna delete this for now. Let's go ahead and paste this in the begin play. I'm gonna go with something like my player controller points towards boolean of show mouse cursor, which is going to be equal to true, ending with a semicolon. Always keep the mouse cursor visible. Okay, where are you from, bro? And please don't say abroad. Honestly, I am like actually from abroad. Can't give my actual country name for like safety reasons type stuff. That's let's go ahead and get this here. Let's see control out F11. And now if I were to compile the code, this should honestly work. Okay, let's see. There we go. Let's go ahead and run the program real quick. I see my mouse cursor every time. Move. Okay, whoa. Keep missing because my bullets kind of shoot from the top and not the bottom. Okay, let's fix that tiny logic as well. What's kind of messing that up? Let's see. Maybe the thing that actually might be messing that up could be that I'm not clicking my right mouse button. Was it that? I think I am, right? If I have my right mouse button, okay, it still misses. Bro, talk slowly, we can't understand your reply. Honestly, I basically just do live abroad, but I can't really give my actual country name for like safety reasons. That's, let's scroll all the way down here. Okay, my start is going to be my world location plus my world direction. Hold up, let me go ahead and grab Gemini back up here. Actually, Claude and say something like say. I see my mouse pointer now, but unlike before, my ray does not start or shoot where my mouse is at. It shoots way above my mouse's, let's say, pointer. Okay, let's go and end this real quick. What game are you building? Actually, I am like working on the basic game logic and learning how different individual components work. Later on, maybe I think after next month, the month after that, once I've made all the kind of meshes, assets, animation and all that stuff that I need, I'm going to be combining everything that I've learned, which I am currently learning right now as well. Today I was working on raycasting where I shoot an invisible line and using the draw debug helpers as header files, that is basically a C++ or Unreal's library. I gave my let's say my array, my invisible array a color. Every time I hit something or shoot something using my array, I display a certain kind of text. If I hit the floor, I say I hit the floor. If I hit my meat, I say I hit my meat, etc. Thinking longer than usual, trying again shortly. This is the first time. Let's add a space and send. Okay, bro, bye. Honestly, I appreciate you sticking to the stream. I'll catch you next stream, Pixels. I was gonna end the stream as well, honestly. My recommendation. Wait, is this the reply to my text? Oh, it is. Ah, this is a common problem with get mouse position. Sometimes it returns 0, incorrect value, especially at the start of the game. The better solution, use a different method. Mouse cursor, get hit result under cursor. Here's the improved shoot function, so I'm gonna go... Okay, but if you want to keep your original approach, try this fix. So I go up here where I get... I don't want to go with viewport though. That's under my mouse's x-axis and y-axis. Wait. I still get my mouse. The thing is, it worked before, but it's not working right now for some reason. What if this says something like, again, it worked before? Okay, so you're gonna build a game dev career. Honestly, the reason I am like actually working on making a game is because I did have a series, a program series. It's called like program for like 200 series. You guys can get access to the entire series playlist in my channel. But my goal by the end of this series is to make a game in general that consists of AI logic. So that's basically what I'm working on learning right now. Let's go ahead and run the program again. I want to kind of see. I keep shooting from the top. Where am I messing up? Let me think. Maybe. What if I go with a bunch of control C's here? There we go. Let's add a bunch of control C's. Assuming that's my constructor, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. There. Okay, now let's go ahead and hit Control Shift C, Control S. Gonna go to my Unreal Engine, go with Control Alt F11. If this works, it's definitely something with like showing and not showing my mouse pointer, so I'll figure that out next stream. But I want to kind of see if this works. Wait, I gotta close my program. Now I gotta run it. It's something. Okay, something happened when I compiled when my program crashed. It's not. It's a logic error. It's not actually. It's not a logic error. It's something that's missing after a crash. Yep. Okay, it's not a logic error. I mean, it is a logic error that occurred after the crash. It worked before, why not now? Let's think. Okay, what's up, bro? How are you doing, F4? Appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let's go ahead and get this here. Guys, I just want to get this over with and start working on my college stuff. Let's go with input. My input is correct. Everything works, so... my camera is definitely not the issue here. If I were to go ahead and run the code, I can summon meats. Thing is, I don't hit a single meat. My points just skedaddle everywhere. Okay, how old are you? Honestly, I am like 18 years old. Except that. It's a logic error. It's a logic error. Nothing is wrong here. What is wrong? What is wrong? What is wrong here? Hi guys, I think some caffeine in my system might jog my memory up. Let me just chug some coffee, I guess. I didn't do anything different. It shoots from my pointer. Camera position can be that. World location can be that. World direction multiplied by 1,000. How far do I want my laser to go? Where do I want my laser to start? I want it to point towards my mouse. It does not point towards my mouse because in my shoot function, let's go to shoot function. Right here, I have my mouse. Oh, I see. Let's copy that. Two mouse. Start and skip mouse. No, wait, never mind. Okay, in abroad, where does he live in? Honestly, I didn't actually say that yet. Abroad, bro, guys, that actually does make sense. Like a whole different place. You guys could like let imagination kind of let you guys know where, or you guys could like either go to my old streams because in my like very old stream from like 2 or 3 months ago, I used to say that a lot, but these days I just stopped saying it because I realized that it's actually more way more riskier than I thought it was. That's let's see. It might be like a treasure hunt to figure out for you guys where I do live. Let's see. So it's like a boolean of hit, rate by results. My line is thick. It follows my position. So where did I use my start? Where did I use my start and my end? Oh, hold up. I used it here in my line tracing. Practically this should work, but it does not work for some reason. Let's exit my Unreal Engine. I'm gonna run it through here. How much riskier? Honestly, the reason I do say riskier is because there are like a lot, like a whole different variety of people in the internet, and like if they literally know where do I live, it's like I don't even know. They could like find a whole lot of things. One failed. There we go. So I have a compilation error. Other compilation errors. Let's see what line. I'm gonna go with something like build solution. Let's wait for it to build solution real quick. Okay, so I see where I have an error. Okay, so it says one failed. Blah, blah, blah. Lisa.c plus. Lisa's a C++. Did I have any content in this? Since when? Alright, I see the culprit here. I see the culprit. Since when did I have an error? Okay, since when did I leave my shoot function up here? No wonder. Okay, so someone will kidnap you and make you build their game riskier. Honestly, it's actually not because of that. There are like several reasons. So let's see. Okay, starts and ends. Everything is correct now. Alright, now let's go with controllers to save the code and run the code. This should definitely work. I'm kind of positive this is gonna work because I see where that bug was. There was like partially constructed code that I used for like my reference, and I did not really fix that. There we go. It opens my Unreal Engine, and now my pointer should hopefully work. Before it most likely was not working because I did still have my center of my screen. If that makes any sense. Okay, I had my spawn location set to the center of my screen. Critical content. Bro, please do one dance step. Honestly, I'm not that good with dance, to be honest. Fun. Well, what do we know? It works. It actually does work. There's no way. Alright, that's good. That's good. It works. That was just stupid error. Okay, when are you ready to play the game? Honestly, right now, I just like showed you guys, but I'm just gonna fix one tiny thing here. I'm gonna go with something like player controller, which points towards boolean check of show mouse cursor equals to true, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm gonna go ahead and remove this chunk of code. Then I'm gonna go ahead and remove this chunk of code as well. Let's hit Control S to save the code, go to Unreal Engine, exit this, hit Control Alt F11 to compile the code, get my live code in here. Now that should work. Let's go ahead and wait for this to be done real quick. Gonna run the program. Why did my screen just go black? Okay, let's close this. There, now let's run the code. Okay, I can go ahead and shoot my lasers. Wherever I shoot, it says hit, and it points black if I miss my lasers. In the other hand, I can always see my mouse cursor, and where I shoot, if I were to go ahead and click M, I can summon a whole bunch of meats here around me. Okay, and there we go. Whole bunch of meats around me. If I backspace, I can remove those meats. If I aim at one of these meats, it says me meat was attacked. There we go. And later on, I will be adding HP and all that stuff as well. Speaking of which, honestly, I think that I got another brilliant idea, guys. I feel like my creativeness is kind of gushing out of me right now. Let's see. Let's go here. Or should I say my creative juices? Okay, let's go all the way down here. I'm gonna go to follow camera. Let's make it a first-person actual FPS type game. Okay, even though I do gotta go, I might just complete this part. I'm gonna go in front. Okay, let's kind of get in front so I can actually kind of position this properly. Let's get in the back. Let's go higher. Let's use this as a head. There. Now let me go ahead and run the code. There we go. I can hit M to like whoa, I can see my actual head. Gotta fix that. And I can go ahead and shoot these things as well. There we go. I can shoot like a lot of lasers if I move backwards. There, so that kind of works. If I hit the meat, it says hit meat. Okay, that works. That's a good thing. Okay, let's go ahead and exit this. Later on, I will replace the laser with bullets and all that stuff. Speaking of which, I might want to get my camera a bit more in front. There's no way I got my details panel all the way back. I'm not gonna get it in front. Okay, never will I get my details panel that back ever again. Let's go ahead and go to this thing. I'm gonna go a bit more to the front. There. Doesn't matter where I look now, it's gonna be perfect. Every angle. Let's run the code. Maybe I want to get my details panel a bit back. There we go. Okay, now if I were to run the code again, I can spawn a bunch of meats. I can go ahead and shoot my laser, and this makes the laser look much better because it's kind of diagonal, to be honest. Unless I kind of move here and I shoot them, so you guys can like have some kind of first person. Just focusing on your aim. I gotta increase my sensitivity, but that's pretty much it for the stream. I'm not going to be pushing this any further. I'm gonna hit Control S to save the code. Go to content. I'm gonna make sure that I save all. Then I'm gonna go ahead and exit this. Gonna hit Control S. Gonna hit Control S. Gonna hit Control S. Control S. Whoops. Control S and Control S. I'm gonna exit that. And then I didn't exit my Unreal Engine. There. Okay, let's go all the way down here and say something like this. Say, it works! Exclamation. I had a tiny bug in a different class. Okay, but now it's fixed. Dot dot dot. That's I am planning to end the stream right now because I've got some college assignments and a exam. Dot dot dot. That said, let's go with something like that said. Before I do end the stream, is there anything that you want to say to the viewers? Question mark. Maybe a bit short because I streamed for longer than I wanted to and kind of late. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and send this, and that wasted another second of hitting enter. Let's see. Perfect, great work today. Quick message for your viewers. Hey chat, your streamer just mastered raycasting. I wouldn't go as far as to saying master, but I got a pretty good concept of how it is or how it does work and what every single component in it does. I will be working on adding my own logic, maybe the stream after next stream or the stream after next stream. So 2 streams after the stream or 1 stream after next stream, because tomorrow I will be having a Blender stream because Tuesday is basically a day where I do something besides programming. And I might need a stream after that to like review my raycasting again and then apply my own logic. That said, one of the most important skills in game development, what you learned today, how ray works in 3D space, converting 2D screen positions to 3D world coordinates, click direction on object, debug the visuals. This is the foundation. FPS, first person shooting. Okay, object interactions, enemy AI detections, and so much more. Now go course the assignments and ace the exam. Here, discipline, your disciple shows ending on time, prioritizing school. That's how you succeed long term. Okay, see you next time. Now, go. Don't be late. Good luck with your work. Okay, I guess let's go to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for the stream. If you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like helps my algorithm, sharing makes me smile, and subscribing so I get you on top. That said, eventually I will be making so many tutorial videos on Unreal Engine because I do want to actually work on learning those things in the future if I had to like move on then come back to it. That said, you guys might find those things helpful as well, so be sure to check that out whenever I have time from college type stuff, maybe like once the semester is over. That said, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, YouTube. I will start multi-streaming on TikTok and Instagram as well. So if you guys really enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there. The link will be in the description, in the bio, or to get access to my Instagram, you guys could type exclamation socials, not social, socials, on chat, and it's going to pop up a link. My bot will actually give you guys a link. And also join my Discord server. That's where I really talk to you guys, chat with you guys, have general conversations, give you guys roadmaps if you guys do want to work with Python or C++, because I haven't made a roadmap for SDL3 or Unreal Engine yet. You guys can get access to my Discord server through through the link in the description, through the bio, or by typing exclamation Discord on chat. That said, I'll catch you guys next time for more video. Peace. For some reason, I feel the bulk in my arms and fingers just like I think.